Hi, and welcome to another edition of Collectibles Chat. I'm Steve Zarelli. Thanks for joining me. Earlier this year, I rolled out a pressing service. I've received a lot of inquiries over the year, a lot of questions. What is pressing? How can it help? What do I need to know? So I thought I'd do a video to help answer a lot of those questions. Pressing is a time-tested conservation method that essentially can remove dents, bends, waves, moisture waviness from certain types of printed materials. The pressing process itself is very safe. It involves using pressure, very low heat, and sometimes a little humidity to remove bends, dents, waves, flaws like this from printed materials. So what type of materials are good for pressing? NASA lithographs are often very good candidates for pressing. Postal covers, letters, and other printed type items very often are good candidates for pressing. Now, what's not a good candidate are lab-produced photographs. Because there is a little heat involved in the process, you can't apply heat to a lab-produced photograph. It might make it curl, it could damage the photograph. You can never try to press an actual photograph. But things like lithographs, postal covers, letters, they often are very, very good candidates for pressing. As I mentioned, pressing is really good for removing waves and dents, that type of damage from printed materials. Now, what is pressing not good for? Well, if something has a very, very sharp crease where the ink has broken or the surface of the paper has kind of ruptured due to a sharp crease, well, it might press that crease flat, but there will still be the paper loss, there'll still be the ink loss there. Pressing's not going to resolve something like that. Also, if something has stains, foxing, mold, pressing is not going to fix those type of issues. So basically think about it, if there's waves or bends in the paper, it can press it flat, but actual damage to the surface of the paper or stains, things like that, pressing's not going to take care of that. Recently, someone submitted a Neil Armstrong signed lithograph for the pressing service. I thought it was a fantastic candidate. It had a lot of handling flaws. Dents, bends, maybe had gone through the mail a few times, had been handled a lot, but there was no significant surface damage like color breaking creases or stains or anything like that. It had just been handled a lot. So I thought the pressing would really, really help mitigate these issues and bring the lithograph back to life. Let's take a look at it. Here is a Neil Armstrong signed lithograph that was submitted for authentication and pressing, obviously authentic. And you can see that it doesn't really lie flat. There's bends and waves. Perhaps it was exposed to moisture at one point, causing some of this cockling or bending. You can see there's a lot of handling dents and bends, a long diagonal bend in the bottom corner. However, this is an excellent candidate for pressing because it doesn't have any color breaking creases, no color loss, and pressing should mitigate these types of bends very, very well. So this is the before pressing, and we'll take a look at after next. And here is the lithograph after pressing. As you can see, it now lies perfectly flat, no more waviness, moisture, cockling, or bends. Looks great. Looking at it in the light, you can see all the bends are gone, nice and flat, almost like a mirror now, the way it should be. There are some very, very small marks where there was kind of sharp creasing that Made a little mark on the surface that doesn't press out, but that's common. But generally speaking, a huge improvement. So there you have it, a really good case study that shows the benefits of pressing. I think this is an instance where a significant improvement to the eye appeal and the desirability of this Neil Armstrong lithograph just through a basic pressing process. Some things to bear in mind. There is a size limit. The largest size I can do is 8.5 by 11 inches. I can't do posters or large prints or anything like that. Max size is 8.5 by 11. Also, results can vary based upon the condition of the paper. Has something been sitting curled up and wavy and damaged for many decades, or has it recently been damaged? Results can vary based upon the condition of the item coming in and how long it's been that way. Obviously, if something's brittle or fragile, we're not going to press it. There's do no harm. Any item that I feel is not safe to press, I would never press. So nothing fragile or brittle or anything like that. In most cases, if something's a good candidate, there's going to be a significant improvement. It may not be perfect, there's no guarantees, but pressing can really improve the eye appeal of an item and the desirability and presentability of that item as well. So I hope this answered a lot of your questions about pressing. Feel free to reach out through Facebook or my website if you have any other questions. And until next time, happy collecting.